Hello, my name is Stacy, also known as 16 CVs on the Samba. Here to show you how to fix the moisture intrusion coming into your Vanagon. If your door panels are warped and you don't know why, chances are that the original vapor barriers in your doors are either damaged or non-existent. The rip here, a couple of holes, the glue is no longer sticking, these holes. All these can cause water intrusion into your vehicle. I've just developed a new replacement vapor barrier made of heavy-duty vinyl that will work on all year's Vanagons, which you can purchase from me. Here's what the new barrier looks like, and now I'm going to do a video to show you how to install it. All right, I'm going to show you how to remove the door panel, but I think that most people who are watching this video already know this procedure, but if not, I'm going to run through it quickly for you. This is a pretty standard door panel removal. These little covers are hidden by a trim cap, which I've removed, and there's 4 Phillips screws, 2 large and 2 small. If your vehicle has been worked on over the years, there's a good chance that a couple of these screws may be missing or stripped, but that's another video. This is just how it comes apart. All right, and here is a little trim cover. Pop the trim cover off. Underneath there as well is another Phillips screw. Take that off. Make sure you keep that screw. Pop the cover off. There you go. Put that there. At the back of the door, there's a vent at the back of the door, and that has 2 screws holding it in. And as we know, gravity still works. All right, so let's get this off. So these vapor barriers are designed for both power windows and manual windows. So of course you can see these are our power windows. So the switch is going to stay put on my van. The speakers are attached to the door panel, so I don't have to remove the speaker separately. Carefully remove the door panel clips. Just gently pry up on them. Walk them off. Walk them off as you go around. There's one right back up in here. It's not as easily accessible, but it comes off. Take that one off. Take that off. Oops. Take that off. The door panel is not perfect, which a few of them are. Take that off. Take that off. Take that off. Up it down. Get behind it. And disconnect the speakers and disconnect your power window wires. Sometimes you need 3 hands to do this. Okay. All right. This is your switch wiring, and this is your motor wiring here. Okay? Here you go. That's off. So this is a good example of what most vapor barriers on Volkswagen vans look like. Torn, shredded, pocket bad, just in really bad shape. So we're going to pull this off, and we're going to get rid of it. No adhesion there at all. So that's part of the reason why my door panel is a little moist. These are speaker wires. These are your power window wires here. Okay, so this is part of the kit, and this is the lower hole cover. Some people call it the speaker cover, but whatever you want to call it, this is the lower, and there's a separate piece for this. Okay, so we're gonna pull this off there. Get all this off. Okay, so one of the ways these doors work is this hole right here, and this hole right here is where the water drains out. The water comes down into this channel here, comes in through here, works its way onto the panel, drips down, and runs out on the edges through this hole here. So you want to make sure that these holes remain open. It's not a bad idea to take a probe or something and go in there and just make sure that they're nice and open. This one isn't as open. I don't know what Volkswagen was doing, but this is definitely a drain hole for water to drain out. So this is the start of the install. I'm going to just remove the large pieces of tape from like when the van was painted and previous repairs on it. I'm not going to get too carried away cleaning it all the way down to a total surface. You can if you like, but the adhesive we have is very sticky and it's going to stick well to any surface. So I'll let you do what you feel is best on that part of it. So I'm just cleaning it with glass cleaner just to get any large dirt particles off of it, and I feel that that's going to be adequate for what we're doing here. So as an example, like see this area here where there is no tape? So this thing's probably been leaking all the time because the water comes in and would run through there. So the way, again, the way this is designed is you don't need a vapor barrier here down. The vapor barrier needs to be up from here to these points. So this is clean enough here. Okay, let that dry a second. And here's the new vapor barrier. Now these vapor barriers, they are handed. That means that there's one for the left and one for the right. So these vapor barriers are designed for both manual and power windows. So it has a hole here, but we're not going to use that hole because we have power windows. So if you have power windows, that hole is going to go there, and we're going to plug that hole, and I'm going to show you that as we go along. So this is how it's going to fit and how it's going to look. On ours, we're going to introduce you to one of my pockets, wherever it is. I'm going to introduce you to one of my window pockets especially made for Vanagon power windows. The wire is going to go in here, but we'll do that as we get further down the line. So here's our vapor barrier, and here's our tape. So we're going to take the tape, and what we want to do is you want to keep the tape right above this line here. And we want to start our tape at the top center because we don't want a joint on the bottom. Now it's important to, as you go along, just to look at it, leave the paper on as we go along because that's important to what we're doing here. So put it on, eyeball it as you go along, keeping the tape above the line. As you go around the corner, just tear the tape a little so you can get it around the corner without disturbing it. Again, stick your tape on the door. And pushing it down as you go along.
And you want to go around the door clip holes.
On the outside of the door clip holes. Okay? So that's that. And then across the bottom, you want your adhesive to be as high up on this line here as you can. And again, okay. Tear the tape. pull up and do this all along here. Okay. And put your tape on here, high up as you can. So just above this line here, kind of use that as your guide. Roll that along. Kind of put your finger in this little indentation here to kind of run it along as you move forward. Okay, down along there, up, there, and again, take your paper off here, into the corner. Shows you how this stuff is really, really sticky, so just be kind of careful with it when you take the paper off. Okay, now come up. The front of the door, up here. Up along here. So this is a door panel clip hole. This is not a door panel clip hole. So only worry about your door panel clip holes, and those are right there. Again, take this. Again, we gotta take the paper off. Should go around the corner. All right. Get this around the corner like that, and come out back around here and end it right next to this. Just tear it off and you're done.
Ready?
So there's enough tape to do both sides, plus it gives you a little fudge room, but not a whole lot. Okay, so here's the vapor barrier. It's got holes around the perimeter on the top and sides, no holes across the bottom. So what we're gonna do is...
Oh, let me see the holes. Where are the holes? Oh, here's a hole here. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is, we're gonna start by putting the front on first. Only take as much paper off as where you need to work. Don't take too much paper off, because this adhesive is super sticky and you don't want it to hang up. Now, like in this corner here, it got a little messed up just going around the corner. So I recommend adding a little more tape to that corner there. It's not gonna hurt, it's not gonna affect anything. Just fatten that corner up a little bit so it just has a little more space. So because we want to keep water out of the door, we want to cut a hole in the lowest part of the vapor barrier. I'm just going to cut just a big enough hole in this vapor barrier to let my speaker wires through. That's all you need to do. It's just big enough to get the speaker wires through the hole. 1, 2. Now you may have different speakers, you may have different setup. These are stock Vanagon speaker wires. So you'll have to, figure that part out for yourself. But there's the speaker wires, okay? So we're gonna start doing the front first. And the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna line up this hole here on the top corner, because that's gonna set where we're going. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna line up that hole there, okay? There you go. You've now started to install it. The speaker wire, speaker pocket goes in, your wires are there, it's set there, okay? It's got a nice set. Now, we're gonna take the tape off, we're gonna go all the way across the top. Take the tape off across the top. Stuff's pretty sticky, so just be careful when you pull it up. Run your finger on it as you go along to make sure it stays seated as you pull it off. Up here isn't that big of a deal if you have a gap because you don't have any water up on top of the door, but just, you know, just be mindful of it. Okay, so we're gonna go along. There's our next hole right there. Just do the hole at a time. Just push out whatever you need to push out. And then we're gonna go to our next hole, which is right there. We're gonna work our way to our next hole, which is there. Our next hole is there. And our next hole is there, okay? Go ahead and just kind of push it down, seat it into place, and just verify that your holes are lined up. Boom, 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 boom. Holes are lined up. That's where your door panel clips are gonna go, right there, okay? Now we're gonna do the back. Okay, the back. Pull it. So here it got stuck here, and this could be a problem here, but we just have to be careful. So we're gonna do the back here, stretch it out, stick the back on. There you go. There's the back, top and sides. Something I developed. These are sold separately from the kit. I can sell them to you as a complete system, but if you have manual windows, this is your basic kit. If you have power windows and you want, or if you have Go Westy switches on the dash, then you're gonna keep it like this because you don't have this hole. If you have some other type of non-factory switches in your door panel, you may not need this. But if you're using factory Vanagon switches, then this pocket is what you're gonna need. This is, like I say, this is developed by me. So you're gonna go into this hole and you're gonna cut this hole open. I just kind of go like this, cut it open there. I go up here like that, cut it up to there, cut it up to there, cut it to there like that. And now this pocket is just going to fit nice and snug. In that hole. Okay. That fits nice and snug in that hole, just like that. Okay, so I've got the pocket. I drilled a 1/2-inch hole in there, and I slit that to put my wires through.
So let me zoom in on that. Oops, those are the wires there.
Yep.
And there's the slit.
Okay, so in here is a cable, and that is the power window regulator cable. So push it in and push it up so that gets on top of the pocket, and then install your pocket into the door, pull your wires through, and get this in. Okay, there we go. Now the pocket's in, it all stays put. You're all set to go. That's the base of the installation. Now we're going to go to the lower hole here. Again, take this tape off. Let's stop it. You want to stop it? Okay, so now we're going to go ahead. We've got the pocket installed. We have the top and side installed. And we're going to work on the bottom now. We're going to take the paper off the bottom, just like that. And we're going to work it all the way down here. Okay, so here I got a little thin on the tape, which is going to happen because this stuff is just so sticky. So don't be afraid just to pull a piece off. Get in there where it's thin. Just put a little piece of tape right on top. It'll just all seal right up and work just like it did. Okay? So go ahead and start your tape Push it in. You want to make sure you don't get any buckles in here. Make sure it's all seated all the way. Pull it down. Pull it in here. So I may mention I'm working in a somewhat heated garage, so this vinyl is a little more pliable than it may be if you were working outside or in an unheated garage. It just may be a little stiffer to make it work. Okay, so there's your finished install on the door vapor barrier. Okay, look at the tape, just look through it and make sure you have a nice solid black bead all the way around. So remember that when the water comes in through here, or if you have manual windows through here or through here, the water is going to come in, it's going to run here, it's going to get in this trough right here, and it's going to drain out through this hole, and it's going to drain out through that hole. And that's exactly how VW designed these to work. That's how they were. Okay, now we're going to go to the lower hole. So for this lower piece, I've put the tape on the vinyl first, again keeping my seam at the top, and I'm just going to lay it in there as high as I can, just eyeballing it, just as long as it meets the bottom there, like that. I'm going to go ahead and lay that up, put it on, and stick it on there. Again, just like that. So whatever water comes in through the door here, again, it's going to hit this and back off down the door. Okay, so there you have it. A basic installation. I would guess, you know, for the average person with, you know, mechanical skills, probably this is about an hour's job per side. Just make sure you're fully adhered here. Your vapor barrier is nice and sound. You haven't had to cut a bunch of holes to make things work. All the holes are all pre-punched. They're lined up. This is actually a heavier vinyl than what Volkswagen used. And it's a PVC. It's the same PVC that they're using for the purses that many people are carrying, those clear purses. So we're actually had these stamped out from the same company that makes a lot of those purses. So it's a very durable vinyl. It's very hard to puncture. So it's going to last many years. It is UV protected, but inside a door you're not going to have a UV problem, UV in ultraviolet. So I'm going to go ahead and put the door panel back on, and that's the installation. I thank you for watching the video, and you can purchase these on the Samba under 16 CVs, or just look for into Vanagon Classifieds under vapor barrier, and it'll show right up there. And again, the pockets are available as a separate item. So as a quick point to the effectiveness of a good vapor barrier, this is what's happened to the door from the water intrusion. That's from the lower hole. Up here is where my pocket goes in. You can see this is all water damage. And this here at the back of the door, this is all water damage from water getting in. This is very typical of Vanagon door panels and why these vapor barriers are so important. So we'll show you on the door kind of the remnants of the dirt from where it's been leaking. This is all dirt here. This is dirt here where it's just been leaking in the door, and again here, but this is covered by the vapor barrier. But this is, with this vapor barrier, you won't get the water running through and leaving the dirt on the door. So I just wanted to show you what happens with a bad vapor barrier. Thank you. Thank you for watching.